The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network and our fine family and growing family of broadcast affiliates across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, 20 Asian countries, and across Europe. If you'd like to give us a call, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. That's 1-877-528-TALK. If you'd like to chat with me on MSN Messenger during the show, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. And our website's www.xzoneradio.com. And if you'd like to watch, listen, and chat with the coolest radio audience in any galaxy, any dimension, anywhere, www.xzonetv.com. My producer tonight, Master Control, is my one and only producer of producers, stars of stars, the president of the Dr. Gabe Merkin fan club herself, Melanie. Hey, Mel, nice working with you, and I understand the bumper stickers are going very well, especially the one that says, "This one's for you, sit on it." And my chat room moderator is Rob in Scarborough. Rob, nice working with you, too. On tonight's show, I'll be joined by Shanta, Gabriel. We're going to be talking about angelic messages in hour number 1. Hour number 2, Rob Conivore. We're going to be talking about his life as a paranormal researcher and investigator. Hour number 3, I'll be talking to Edward Humes about Earth Day 2009. And in hour number 4, Serenity Moore will be joining me to talk about spirituality and psychic abilities. That's tonight here on the X-Zone. Once again, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. My first guest this hour is Shanta Gabriel, and we're talking about angelic messages. Now, have you ever considered inviting an archangel into your living room? Well, neither have I. But that is exactly what happened in 1988 when Shanta Gabriel was frustrated with the direction of her life and was praying for her true work to manifest. One day, without warning, while giving a massage at her home in Hawaii, Shanta sensed a presence heralded by a shimmering golden light and a feeling that the floor was shaking. When she opened her eyes, there was a being standing at the end of her massage table with wings so grand they seemed to extend beyond the profile and the roofline. Did Shanta fall on her knees and thank God for the answer to her heartfelt prayers? No. She was so intimidated by the power of this possible apparition that she just continued working the healing work that she was doing on her client and did her best to ignore him. Shanta heard a booming voice telling her that he was the Archangel Michael. And this was even more strange. The actuality that an archangel would be appearing to her was beyond her capacity to compute intellectually as well as spiritually. Shanta Gabriel has been trained in a tradition that advised against taking visions too seriously. Plus, she had no history, background, understanding, not even an interest in the angelic realm. When I return from this 2-minute commercial break, I'll be talking to and joined by Shanta Gabriel here on the X Zone. Her website, www.shantagabriel.com. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone for Tuesday, March the 24th in the year 2009. Once again, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. My email address is xzone@xzoneradio.com or xzonetv.com or xzone@talkstarradio.com. I'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute break.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Shanta Gabriel is my special guest this hour, Exonation. Her website is www.shantagabriel.com. And Shanta, welcome to the X Zone.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Tell me, Shanta, were you always spiritually orientated?
I think so. We didn't have any formal religion in my family, but when I was 10 years old, I went out shopping for a church, and I tried out all these different ones at 9 or 10, somewhere around in there, and decided to land in a church that seemed to have the most. It had the most beautiful altar and the most beautiful flowers, and it had real wine for communion, and for some reason that really seemed important at the time. But that was just a sort of a brief period, and I don't remember. I loved nature, but I don't remember having a very strong spiritual upbringing.
Shanta, I was reading the Exonation, your story, when Archangel Michael appeared to you.
Yes.
What was that like?
Scary. It was just too astounding to actually receive. And he continued to show up, which was the most amazing thing, and I continued to ignore him, pretending he wasn't in my room. I really thought that perhaps this was the turn in the road that my parents were afraid I was always going to go down, and that maybe I had actually gone over the edge. So I didn't tell my husband. I didn't really do anything with that until 1990, when Archangel Gabriel showed up, and it was a whole nother experience that I could receive.
How can you ignore an angel that is in your room, that the wings are surpassing the roof line, and has a booming voice and is standing at the end of a massage table? Please tell me how you can do this. I'll use it on my kids. Well, fear can do amazing things, and it was one of those things when you're just not willing to admit there's an elephant in the room. It's like that. This angel is not really here. I'm not really seeing this, and I'm just going to pretend it's not happening. At the same time, there were all these amazing experiences while I was doing my work. I could tell that my work was actually taking on a whole new dimension. And what dimension was that?
More light, more clarity, more healing energy working.
What significance did Archangel Michael have in your life that day? What changed? I mean, besides your belief in angels, because you can't argue with an angel that's standing there.
I did, though. My belief didn't change until Archangel Gabriel showed up about a year or so later.
So wait a minute. The head angel, Michael, comes to you.
Hard to imagine.
Well, not really.
Oh.
Because you sound like a very logical and realistic person. And But I can't understand why it took Gabriel before you accepted it. Because isn't Archangel Michael the number one angel?
I don't know. I believe he is the forerunner, and he definitely, I believe he's the one that's absolutely working with light workers in this time that we're in. So, yeah, he's a powerful dude, that's for sure. But Archangel Gabriel had this incredible, loving, immense heart. It just melted me.
So you weren't afraid of Gabriel?
I wasn't.
Okay.
No.
Now I understand.
And it was like surrendering. Okay. It's like with the wisdom of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Resistance is futile and surrender is inevitable. And that's what happened. I finally could surrender, and that's when my whole belief system shifted, and my life's work came into being.
That first day when Michael appeared to you, did the person that you were working on have any inclination what was going on?
Well, she didn't say anything. She did say it was a very powerful session. I had been working on her before. She'd had quite a number of asthma-related situations that were extreme emergencies. And what I found out about 5 years later is that she had not had another asthma attack.
Wow.
I don't know. I had lost track of her. I don't know if that changed, but somebody came. She had left Hawaii, sent somebody to see me for a session, and that person told me how it had really changed her. Now, this is not to say that I can cure asthma, at all. I don't want to say that. It's just that was the experience of that person, her karma, and then that time for me as well.
Are angels available for everyone? And if so, how do we call our angels to give us a hand in times of trouble, need, sorrow, loneliness, desperation?
Absolutely. I believe that they are available to all of us. And our clear intention to invite them into our lives and to take the time to listen and to have an open mind and heart, I believe this is how we call them in. And plus, asking, just simply that, because although he came, Archangel Michael came to me and Gabriel came to me in a way that it was like I didn't think I was inviting them in, but in actuality I was praying for guidance, I was praying for clarity about my life's work and my path, and so in some ways I was inviting them in. So I think that we do just need to invite, and we don't need to be really formal, but I believe our hearts need to be pure and clear and be willing to listen.
Would the angels come if a person whose heart wasn't as pure and as clear as it could be, but they wanted to make amends, they wanted to make up for all the negativity that they had caused in other people's lives, and if they opened their heart to the angels, will the angels help them?
I believe so, yes. That's a very clear intention.
So it's the intention and the desire.
The intention, the desire, and having an open mind and heart.
What has been the strongest message that the angels have told you that other people can benefit from?
One of the most clear ones was just, when did you think you would need faith? That was just before my life sort of collapsed, and I went through a period of time where I lost everything that was dear to me, and that at that time it was a very short period, but it was a loss of my business, my home, my marriage, my appendix. Just one thing after another in a short period of time, enough to rip away all the vestiges of what I believed were important things for me and had value. And so I had to absolutely have the faith and the prayer to put things back together, to find a new way of being in a new level of awareness. So having faith that even though it didn't seem like I was directly inspired and guided, as this came after 7 years of receiving messages every day, and then that was the strongest message that came. Just when did you think you would need faith? Because it's so easy to have faith when things are going well. And what do you do when they're not? And that's the faith to know that we are being inspired and to trust our inner guidance and stay in the present moment and feel that impulse and that guidance to move. And does that make sense?
It does. It does. How do people know, or how can they tell if an angel is around them?
I think they work through our hearts. So if our hearts feel uplifted, that I think that's part of it too. It's like what makes our hearts sing, and angels definitely for me. And I have a very devotional character, so this is what works for me, and I think it's different for everyone. But if you feel uplifted and you can feel your heart softening, I think that's a real clue.
So when you get that feeling of a song in your heart, or the goosebumps that come when you have an idea,
skin, they call that in Hawaii,
or you feel that invisible hug of comfort.
Yes, absolutely, being wrapped in wings of pure love.
You know, I believe that the entire secret to life is one 4-lettered word: LOVE.
I agree with you, Rob. It's the strongest healer there is.
So all we have to do is love, and love that is unconditional. Not, I'll love you if you do this for me. I'll love you if you get me that. I'll love you if you buy me this. I'd love for you to do this for me. But when a person opens their heart and loves someone unconditionally, I believe that the angels are singing with them. And they're saying, well, you finally got it. Here's a pat on the back with a golden wing.
And I agree, too, about that. And also when we love our planet enough to want to serve. Very much so.
Shanta, you and I have to take a commercial break for the news at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. Exo Nation, Shanta Gabriel is our very special guest. If you'd like to give us a call and share your angel moment with us, 1-877-528-8255. Now, that's toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. 1-877-528-8255. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone, live and around the world on Talkstar.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I know angels exist because, as a dad, every little child that you have that comes into the world is a little angel. I don't know, there's something about little girls. I've got 2 daughters. My daughter has 2 daughters. And kids, they're little angels until they start talking, and then they turn into little devils. And then as they grow older, they get back into the angel mode. And from there on, they know how to work things, don't they, guys? 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network. My special guest this hour is Shanta Gabriel, and we're talking about angelic messages and angels this hour here on the X-Zone. And did Michael look different than Gabriel?
He felt different. I wasn't aware of his sword or anything like that. I didn't know about that then. But he felt so much different. I mean, the whole floor was vibrating. It was very, it was just such a powerful force. And I didn't feel that tremendous amount of loving presence that I felt with Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel began to give me these messages. It was much more of a clear, direct guidance. This is what we can do together.
And that's the key word, together.
Yes, and I wanted to expand on that question that you asked before about, is there a theme or what is the most important messages? Right. Well, it seems to be ongoing theme to talk about light, the power of light, which is, he just told me this today, is a primal force of love on the planet right now. And so it's how we can use divine light to bless the world and come together to bring more peace, more harmony, more joy into our lives.
Does that mean we're not taking enough time and enough care of ourselves to understand ourselves? That we're too busy in the outside world to understand what's going on right within us?
I believe so. I think that our future wellness and our future happiness really depends on how much we're able to nurture our spirit in this present time.
Have you seen an increase in spirituality in the last 5 years?
I sure have. People are way more willing to listen, are way more open-minded. I think there's a huge acceleration of awakening on the planet as well.
What do the angels tell you about this awakening?
That we need to come together, and that if we can come together even for short periods of time, well, there's a message I received this morning. Would you like me to read it?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. When we speak of light, we are talking about a primal force of love on the planet that allows the power of transmutation to work through each person, focusing light into every situation. These are unprecedented times of divine grace. Using the gifts of this time becomes the work of those who volunteered to be in a body right now. It's not to be here with a sense of heaviness. Instead, this work is to be taken from a place of light, with an incredible lightness of being, holding a vision of a world of peace, harmony, forgiveness, and most of all, grace. Each person has this task in front of them if they've awakened to the power and truth of this valuable time. Ordinary thoughts gain great power when coupled with the energy of strong emotion. The fear-based belief systems hold the mind hostage until the light of divine love can bring freedom by unlocking the heart and flooding the being with the truth of divine awareness. The results will have an exponential effect on this accelerated time. All that's required is to turn your hearts and minds to the possibilities of light. It is likened to the miracle of divine intervention. Each person holds a spark of divinity within them that can be used to bring the light of divine grace into the world. It's obvious that only a miracle of divine proportions can work in the situations facing the world right now. Why gnash the teeth with worry and fear when the alternatives bring peace of mind and joy to the heart? The creation of small groups to pray together and talk of possibilities and hopeful vision will have a greater effect than any one thing that you can do. Now is the time you ask to be on the earth to join with a company of souls who hold a vision of the world where people can live in peace and harmony and live together in a way that nurtures the planet Earth as well. It is your time. Let this moment inspire you. Call in the divine light and allow it to bless every situation facing you individually and globally. the miracles await your call.
That's a wonderful message. It's very clear-cut.
It's very clear. That one hasn't been edited, but that's the kind of message that in the Gabriel message is the new book that just came out.
Why did you decide to write the book? What was your inspiration?
People need it, and the people. I had written one in '97, and I got so many people who discovered it after it went out of print that I knew that there was some value in the messages for others as well as me. The messages are written for me and my emotional state usually, and as things have evolved, everyone seems to be experiencing a very similar situation. Mm-hmm. So the messages can go directly to the heart of each person and what they're experiencing in their own lives, and to offer a practice. Every message in the Gabriel messages has a practice, so that there's a practical way of applying each situation, something that can be carried into your own life and in your own world. And most of them do recommend a time of sitting, even 5 minutes, to just breathe quietly and bring in light. And you don't have to do anything, but as you allow the divine grace to work in your life and the light to work in the cells of your body, you begin to feel healthier and happier, and things start to work a lot better.
1-877-528-8255 is toll-free. My special guest this hour is Shanta Gabriel. Her website is www.shantagabriel.com. How can angels help real-life situations and the situations that people are facing right now?
Well, believe it or not, something as simple as blessing the situation with light can do wonders. Light carries an intelligence of the divine creator. It carries with it divine love. So when you bless something, you confer energy. So blessing your situation, blessing our economic situation, and just doing that simple thing will actually have what I've been told, an exponential effect. It'll grow.
When you say bless something with the light,
yes.
Can you give me an example? For example, like what would you say?
Give me an example, and I'll see what they say.
All right. Let's say you've got a sick neighbor.
Oh, a sick neighbor.
Yeah.
I would ask for divine light to flow into this being, that the light of divine love and divine healing work in and through this neighbor now, that she open her mind and heart to receive on a greater level than ever before divine light work in and through not only her situation right now, but in her life. And then I would say thank you and say so it is, because as we ask, so it is done.
How many messages do you receive a day?
Well, the actual written messages are not so much on a daily basis. This morning I said, what do I need to tell Rob? And that was it. So I think that the messages that I receive now are more like during the day. The messages don't come quite so clearly that way. They're more of a strong impulse. And if I stay present in the moment and stay awake and alert, I feel a guided direction to go in. And I have to keep breathing, because that's one more thing that seems so amazingly simple. It can't be true, but people's anxiety oftentimes is caused by just not taking a deep breath, so that the body thinks that it doesn't have enough oxygen to live, and it causes this tremendous anxiety builds. So if we just Go ahead. Excuse me.
No. So we need to meditate, and we need to open up our air passages in order for everything to work together.
Absolutely. And the meditation doesn't have to be some great, huge deal. It can be just simply sitting for 5 minutes and breathing and asking for light to work in your life and asking for more love to shine in your heart.
It's funny because when people think about meditation, all of a sudden you start hearing sitar music in the background,
right.
Incense burning, and a yogi in the lotus position.
Exactly true. But and that is definitely something that can be done. But it's not daunting when we look at a sunset and feel inspired.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's a meditation. When we look at a flower and we see the beauty there and we smell the fragrance, that's a meditation.
How about sitting down in a nice quiet spot and thinking of all the happy memories with a person?
That's a wonderful meditation. And thinking of all the things we have to be grateful for. That's another wonderful meditation.
So anything that is positive, that brings you a feeling of peace and serenity.
Those thoughts have great power. They're way more effective than fear-based thoughts to change your life. I mean, I'm not the only one saying this right now, but there's been so many studies that have shown that you can just the power of the word peace or love can really change water. For instance, it changed the molecular structure of water. So we have the power within us to just absolutely shift our thinking. And I like to have kind of a little pat statement that is something that I can just pull up really quickly. One of the messages that I was given by Archangel Gabriel was for my money situation, and it said, all the money I give is blessed and returned to me multiplied. And so that every time I start to worry about money, I just start saying that instead. And I keep shifting my thoughts, and I bless my wallet, and I bless my bills, and I bless my checkbook, and just keep bringing it back to a positive statement.
It sounds a lot like the power of positive thought, the power of positive reinforcement.
Absolutely, and I mean this is not new information.
No.
It's just this is the perspective that's been shown to me.
It's like the old saying I used to hear all the time, if you confess it, you will possess it. Now, what can people do to have more peace in their lives? Meditation is one thing. Having more love is another. What else can they do?
Asking for peace. Asking for peace, and every time something you have a decision to make, use the will this bring me more peace as a clarity tool to help you make decisions, and just start making decisions that bring you more greater life peace and joy, and things turn around. Have people in your life that help you feel peaceful.
Shanta, you and I have to take our final break for this hour. Please stand by. Shanta Gabriel is our very special guest, www.shantagabriel.com. That's www.shantagabriel.com. Shanta and I will be back on the other side of this commercial set as the X Zone continues on the Talkstar Radio Network. And coming up in the next hour, we're going to be speaking to Rob Conover. We're going to be talking about the paranormal investigations and the research that he's done. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Shanta Gabriel is our special guest. Her website is www.shantagabriel.com. First of all, Shanta, I want to thank you very much for sharing your story with us and for helping the Exo Nation to better understand how they can bring angelic intervention, angelic help, and love into their own lives. Thank you.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I think working together, we're going to move the whole economic situation a lot faster through. We don't have to wait for a long time, and that's what the angelic help is for right now.
They're
to
there
help us on all levels.
And all you have to do is ask for help.
I believe so.
What are guardian angels? There's people think that guardian angels are the angels that stand behind little children when they're doing strange and weird things that kids do that protect them.
I believe that's true, yes. And I think we each have a guardian angel that has been with us for our entire lives. And we can actually have a personal relationship with that angel should we choose. I think we have angels that are with us from the time our souls have been birthed. Mm-hmm. And I think that we also have angels for different situations that come and go. I think every project, every relationship, every situation has an angel, an overriding angel that we can ask for help to make much more positive decisions and get more guidance. So they're for small things and large things.
Are you going to be writing another book, my dear?
Oh, definitely. We have one coming up for the different archangels.
Wow.
And how they work as spiritual principles in your body.
Do me a favor. As soon as the book is out, get a hold of us. Love to have you back on so that we can talk about the different archangels.
Thank you, Rob. That's very nice. I'll do that.
It's been a great pleasure talking to you, Shanta. Once again, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and for opening the door to angelic intervention into the many hearts of the Exo Nation.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Shanta Gabriel, www.shantagabriel.com. That's www.shantagabriel.com. Now, when I come back from the news at the top of the hour at 6.5 minutes past, I'll be joined by our next guest, Rob Conover. He is a paranormal researcher and investigator. He was a former skeptic and still is at heart, but his attitude was shaped by his early years in Missouri, the Show Me State, his 3 years in the United States Marine Corps, and his career after that as a private investigator. Coming up next, Rob Conover, here on the X Zone. And if you'd like to join us, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. That's toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii at 1-877-528-8255. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and xzonetv.com. My name's Rob McConnell, and I'll be back on the other side of the news as the X Zone continues right here on Talkstar.